something in my teeth. I just had some beans and rice. I really did just have some beans and rice. Hey guys, it's Dana and it's Tuesday, so we're going to talk about money. And I wanted to share with you today why you don't want to pay off your debt. All right, so why wouldn't you want to pay off your debt? You know that I am adamant against having debt. I do believe that the borrower is slave to the lender, and I don't like being a slave. And so typically I would say, of course you want to get out of debt. Get out of debt. If you have lots of debt, you should be attacking it, putting payments, extra payments on your debt to try to get rid of it. So why would you maybe not want to do that? All right, so little story. When I realized we were really deep in debt, I really wanted to get out of it, of course. And so I was trying to pay extra on our debt. However, there are certain points in your life that it's important to not do that because you want to focus on not acquiring any new debt. So it doesn't make any sense to make extra payments on a debt and then go and borrow more money on your credit card because you can't afford the necessities or things you have coming up. So if perhaps you have a daycare bill or you have to pay for a car repair and you don't put enough money in your budget for groceries, and then you might find yourself swiping a credit card at the grocery store, then that's not working because you're just paying off one debt to acquire a new debt. And then so you're not making any progress at all. So in that case, then it's better just to pay the absolute minimum payment, and then you'll have money to pay for the other things like food, your car, school. If you're going to school and you have a school bill, then it's best just to tread water for a little while. And there was definitely a point in Jim and I's get out of debt plan where we couldn't make any extra payments. It was just minimum payments on everything and then just trying to not acquire any new debt. That was the big goal. Don't acquire any new debt, even though the debt might be sort of sitting there and not going down, which is incredibly frustrating. It is so frustrating to look at your debt and see that the number is not getting any smaller. It might be even getting larger because of interest, but it's important to not get any new debt. So that's the goal, and then to tread water until you get to a point where maybe you can start making some extra payments. And it's hard. It's really hard if you're, for us, we had a huge daycare bill and we weren't making a lot of money, and it was just, we were basically just breaking even. And it was so difficult during that time period to just, say we can't make any extra payments on anything. We just have to pay minimum payments and then be satisfied with just knowing that we're not acquiring any new debt. And sometimes that's like the biggest challenge, but sometimes I feel like it's there on purpose to help teach us how to live below our means and to stop the cycle. Because if you're in debt, obviously you've had a habit of just going and buying things even when you don't have the money with your credit card or what have you, or borrowing school loans to go to school. And so it's important to stop and break that cycle. And so I think that this happens on purpose sometimes. So if you just pay minimum payments, then you can focus on paying for your school instead of borrowing money. And that's a big one. If you're still going to college or you're taking classes and you've been borrowing money to go, you might be thinking, oh, I just have one more year to go, so I'm going to have to take out another $10,000 in school loans. And then you're going to be making extra payments on your other debt. That makes no sense whatsoever. It's better just to make the minimum payments, take all the extra money you have and put it into a savings account so you can pay for your classes as you go, and don't take out any new loans. Don't take out any new loans. If you're treading water and just sort of trying to survive and get by, then it's a good time too just to kind of look at everything that you have going on as far as things you are spending money on. And maybe there are some things there that you can cancel. And so just take that time to sort of really go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And this is the really painful process, I felt like. I know that for one thing we had to cancel was for the boys when they were like 3 years old. And I realized that it really was a nice to have thing, not a need to have thing. And I remember typing out the email to cancel it, and it was really painful for me. Like, I felt it. It was physically painful to have to type in there, we're going to cancel in the email, I'm sorry. It was so hard. And I remember staring at the email, and it took me like maybe 15 minutes to click the send button on it to cancel it, because it just made me feel the weight of sort of the mistakes that I had made with debt, to the point that it was impacting my children, and it just made me feel it. It was really intense. But then once I clicked it and it was sent, I just had this sense of release. I realized I was submitting to the process. I was accepting it, and that, it was done. That was one more thing that we weren't going to have to pay for. And then I knew it was taking us one step closer to our goal of being debt-free and building wealth, so that we can do whatever we want for the children, and that we can put them in any kind of activities that we want. And they're going to have access to so much more because of the sacrifices we're making while they're young. And so it was really, it was a big deal for me, though, to send that and cancel. So if you're treading water, like I said, paying minimum payments on everything, just trying not to acquire any new debt, just, make that your focus until you get to the point where you get a new job, you get a raise. Maybe you'll have an expense that's ending that you can, when that ends, you'll be able to then put more money towards your debt. But sometimes it is what it is. If you're in school and you have to pay for tuition, then there will be an ending point to that when you graduate school, and work really hard to make sure that you graduate as soon as possible. Then, just put as much money aside as you can to be paying for that and not acquiring any new debt. And then once you do graduate, your income should hopefully kick up, and then you'll be able to start then piling on the money towards the debt and just really hitting it hard to snowball attack it. All right, guys, if it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. Every Tuesday, I do a new video talking all about money, hopefully to help motivate you to get out of debt and to reach your financial goals. I am an accountant. That is my day job, and then I do this for fun, for creativity on the side, and I have 4 children, and we live in the Philadelphia area. Thank you guys so much for watching. Some of you have been watching me for years and years, so thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will talk to you in the next video. Okay? Bye, guys.